What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here. Hope all is well. This is my second take uncut. Wish me luck, and please pay attention to the end of this video. I specifically want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below on the last quote that I share with you. So we have a plethora of information that has occurred even just over the weekend. I took 2 days off, but have been reading the news as always religiously, and we have so much going on. We have David Schwartz commenting on the ledger halt that happened a while back. We have Galgatron going back and forth with him, specifically going over what happened with the ledger. So good and bad news there, and I'm happy to get clarity regarding that. We have the IMF panel, the International Monetary Fund, and we also have, I believe she's the CEO, Danielle Dixon at Stellar, speaking there as well. Some additional commentary between the private and public sectors and CBDCs and interoperability, the same narratives that we're used to. So I just want to kind of tie it all together, share some additional points that I haven't seen on some other channels, and let me know your thoughts. So right here, guys, on chain.info/exchanges, you can see various exchanges and their actual on-chain Bitcoin balance. Now, this is pretty crazy. This is roughly $11 billion worth on Coinbase alone. This is 944,904 Bitcoin. Just, for that value today, that is just over $11 billion. Absolutely crazy. And I originally saw it right here, crypto Coinbase holding over 11 billion. We can see they hold the largest amount of crypto ahead of all other exchange firms. Now, also something to note, we can see Kraken, remember, one of the first banks or crypto banks, we could say, to get that banking charter license in the United States. They are more so fully reserved. We've heard some concerning things with Binance lately, with all these shell companies going around. I'm always paying attention. You never know which companies will get hit with regulations or fines, and it is our money. So if you have any of your money on these exchanges, I don't personally ever leave money there unless I'm trading. Just please be safe and act accordingly. Also, we know Bitstamp, one of the OGs for, the gateway for Ripple and XRP back in the day, they have additional integrations, Bank of America, we know NASDAQ with R3, we have all these ties that we can see and draw together. We also know that they've updated their crime sensitivity or tracking more so. So really good to see that. And I just wanted to share that. I know we talk about crypto assets, but we have to talk about the infrastructure and sometimes even the centralized companies behind it. All right. So what I want to talk on next is this. So I saw Stephen Bull from the DIP share this on Twitter last week, or maybe it was Friday, Saturday. And this is the XRP tracker for the euro. So they're giving a fair value estimate of what they believe XRP is in terms of euro. This is on coinshares.com. You can check this out. I would actually have to look at specifically how they value everything. They have all the, fair value, historic data, the overview overall. Really interesting here. And you can see the market makers. And I'll go over what the fair value is today because I found it to be pretty interesting. And of course, it's a lot higher than what we see today, which would be nice. So in 2019, XRP Tracker Euro became the first XRP-based security available on a regulated exchange in the European Union when it listed on NGM in Stockholm. Also, there was something else I wanted to share. FSA, securities. And also, the XRP USD market is the most liquid XRP market widely available for trading. Interesting. So we regard it as the most suitable underlying index to track in an XRP product. Interesting, rather than, XRP BTC or anything like that. And just so you understand, you can click the fair value here. You can go to overview, fair value, and we can see roughly today XRP's fair value, according to this website alone, is 10 euros. And in US dollar valuation for any of you Americans here, that's approximately $11.81. Just sharing, not trying to be hypey, just giving you a fair value from there. I know there's that also that other fair value website that we've looked at before with their metrics. And we have to understand we're still in price discovery phase. Once there's additional on-ramps, their value is always something that is trying to reach equilibrium. It is never constant, and it is always derived from something else. All right, whether it is gold, the US dollar, etc. So I want to kind of go through this article as well and kind of set it up for the rest of this video. So this is Crypto Whale. I'm sure many of you have known him. You followed him on Twitter. He was an early investor in XRP as well. He loves Bitcoin, and I just want to share this. So this is a little a pessimistic of a view, but I do find it to be realistic. If you are a big Bitcoin believer, hopefully you're not offended, but I just want to share this. And he does kind of preface that he likes Bitcoin, and he believes that there are big things ahead in the future, but he also believes that there could be something to catch us in guard in the future. So right here, the purpose of this is not to bash Bitcoin. I'm a huge fan. I think investors just need to hear the truth. And keep in mind, this is his opinion, but I do appreciate this type of context and clarity. So Right here, how Wall Street companies are deceptively using Bitcoin's hype to grow their own market share. Now, you would be foolish not to think that's what these companies are doing. If you really think that they just believe in Bitcoin, I think that's quite myopic of you. First off, what is a company's primary job as a public company? It is literally to earn or, appreciate their shares in the company for their shareholders. So that's the goal. Whether it is, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey with Square as well, and appreciating that, we'll just kind of show the correlations of how their stock prices have gone up accordingly while hyping Bitcoin. So we have Grayscale Investment Trust. They own, for first part, they own 0 Bitcoin. The actual clients own the Bitcoin and buy them. All right, so they trade on their behalf. In addition, despite all of the campaigns, this fund has not been too profitable during the past market cycles. Relying on them is not recommended. Notice, in October 2018, the price of shares for Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust had gone down over 80%. Next, this is an interesting correlation. So MicroStrategy, I'm sure many of you know them. They were a startup during the 2000s dot-com bubble. And notice, following the burst of the dot-com bubble, the stock prices plummeted over 95%. Sounds just like what we witnessed with cryptocurrency, some assets going down 98% from their all-time high. Okay, and the scary thing is you never know where the bottom is. So, dollar cost averaging has been my best friend. All right, now notice we can see their stock price since the dot-com bubble. Notice right here, they've been seeing falling revenue for almost a decade now. They've been in trouble, declining demand. Their recent $425 million investment in the Bitcoin, in his opinion, is nothing more than a way to make headlines and generate more hype around their falling stock prices. And yes, I know companies realize the younger generations are really big into Bitcoin and DeFi and Ethereum. So it's a trend. Trends are your friends. And notice that it worked, and you can see that their stock has risen almost 40% since they first announced that they got into Bitcoin. It got a lot of companies and people looking into them as well. Genius. Maybe not bullish for Bitcoin immediately, but like many crypto influencers are saying. Agreed with that. Now, Square, we also know related to Twitter, recent $50 million investment into Bitcoin is nothing more than a publicity stunt to get their stock prices moving up on a stagnating market. They've gained over $130 million in value from shares since announcing their investment into Bitcoin. That is absolutely crazy. So is it companies taking notice of, this type of digitalization? Are they working on bigger things? And this is just a side note. Or is it just Bitcoin investors wanting to diversify and now go into the stock market because they are sick of waiting for so long for the store of value? And we understand that these crypto markets, they happen, whether it's 1 year, 3 years, 4 years of bear markets, they move in cycles. So I surely am not leaving this market after waiting several years at this point, specifically with one of the quotes I want to read at the end of this video. All right. And notice you can see Square's, stock price going up as well. All right. So right here, so crypto whale, people are more captivated by coins that have gone up exponentially versus coins that have real utility and value. Saying a coin went up 10,000% in, say, 6 months, 1 month, etc., does not say anything about if it is valuable or not, or the native technology behind it, its actual utility. Because so many scams that I've witnessed, that I'm sure many of you have witnessed in the space, have gone up thousands of percent only to drop to zero. And I've seen it time and time again. And yes, there are some that will, go up 5,000%, then they'll go down and they'll be back to 98% down from all-time high, and then they'll do it again. And, we are just in the Wild West out here. Please be safe. And for a lot of newbies that, trash any currency because it doesn't go up or anything, we're in the early phase. Until utility truly comes, and it will be a combination of utility and speculation, we really can't judge. You just have to keep an open mind and pay attention, all right? And be a contrarian investor. Think opposite. Right here, so Jana One Trick. So we know Dr. Rajan, as we know, was the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, and he was just specifically going, and he's been at Ripple's Swell, their annual event in 2019, talking about financial inclusion. And yes, he is a fan of XRP and anything that works, obviously. And there's a niche market that a private digital currency could potentially have instead of central bank digital currencies. Interesting commentary if you want to check this out. I did retweet it, I think, with a quote. And just to touch on this, so we know he was at Ripple Swell. I believe Brad Kimes also asked him a question when he was there, and I wanted to specifically just read one thing. Dr. Rajan is no stranger to the democratizing power of technology. He's considered a key visionary behind India's early adoption of widespread mobile banking. His brainchild, the Unified Payments Interface (UPI), that launched in 2016, is revolutionizing peer-to-peer payments and helping usher in India's migration to a more digital society. Understand, we're 3 billion plus people that are unbanked and underbanked. This is going to be a massive transfer of wealth. And if you really think 10,000 people, a million people, we know there's 2 million XRP wallets or something like that. That is such a small fraction in the scheme of things, provided that the majority of us have maybe 8 XRP wallets or 8 different crypto exchanges. So just keep an open mind. We are early. All right, right here, just wanted to touch on this. So a project that I like, do your own research. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. Anything can go to zero. FetchAI, so Fet is what I like. They've integrated Chainlink oracles live on mainnet, connecting real-world asset price data to autonomous software. Just want to read right here, and then we'll move on to the next topic. In Singapore, October 8th, 2020, FetchAI, Cambridge-based artificial intelligence lab, building an open-access decentralized machine learning network for smart infrastructure, announced today that it has successfully completed a mainnet integration of Chainlink. There's also some big news coming up with Link as well. Whether you're a fan or not, just wanted to share this because oracles are very, very interesting. We also are aware of, Ripple and initiatives that they've worked on with what are called smart oracles. So FetchAI is using their price reference data to allow users to verify the price of assets on chain while also enhancing security against price manipulation. All about AI, kind of the internet of autonomy. All right. Next, SBI. So we know SBI and obviously their, subsidiary, something like that, of SBI Ripple Asia. So we have SBI and they're a big shareholder of not only R3, but Ripple teams up with Swiss Crypto Bank for USD $66 million unlisted stock fund. Now, Signum has also kind of been called a digital crypto bank. We know that they have XRP listed as well. And let me see, just wanted to share SBI and Signum teaming up and hoping up to raise up to $66 million by 2021, and basically also financing, besides helping startup businesses, but financing corporate security token offerings. So STOs, bottom line, reminds me of initiatives like Securitize as well. So talking about this, big push, you have big money moving around. We know that equities will be tokenized right here. Tokenized companies in equity in the future would seek to raise funds directly from markets through STOs. If you did see that poll that the International Monetary Fund ran, I believe it's the IMF, they ran basically saying, in the next 5 years, are we going digital? Will you be sending cash in an envelope to your family or friends? What will you be doing? It was like 90% plus digital. Now, trends are your friends. I think it's very evident, and you just have to watch the kids. You don't pay attention to the people that are 70 right now. You have to watch the actions of, the people that are teenagers. You have to watch the actions of people in their 30s. What are they doing? The people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, they're even observing their kids and starting to adapt as well. Getting on the tablets, the iPads, changing their payments. If their kids play video games and they're buying, different video game accessories, digital skins and weapons, it's the same concept. You just have to pay attention to this. Keep an open mind because nobody knows how exactly it's going to play out. But at a high level, I think it's, pretty evident what will be occurring. Digitization, interoperability, and hopefully financial inclusion rather than, the opposite. Okay, so I wanted to touch on this. So we have a various group of, large amount of crypto assets that could potentially be listed on Coinbase as well. Luckily, we finally see VeChain, we see Tron, we see all these other assets, and of course Terra Luna, which is something that I'm interested in as well. Ontology, Paxos, no surprise, Elrond. All right, now something to pay attention to is this. So I'm sure you guys have seen this, wrapped Bitcoin. If you pay attention to the DeFi space, you're well aware of this, but I feel I haven't really touched on it because I'm centering around, Ripple and XRP more so, but I want to touch on this because this is very telling of not only interoperability, but trying to pivot in other directions and have coins available everywhere. So just so you know, wrapped Bitcoin, I've also saw some news on wrapped Algo and a variety of other assets, so pay attention to that. Right here, WBTC, do more with your Bitcoin. What is wrapped Bitcoin? Well, wrapped Bitcoin delivers the power of Bitcoin with the flexibility of an ERC20 token, essentially on the Ethereum blockchain. So wrapped Bitcoin is the first Ethereum-based token, an ERC20 token, backed one-to-one with Bitcoin. So just think of Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain, completely transparent and 100% verifiable, community-led. Really interesting. If you guys want to read more about it, you can go to WBTC.network. All right, so I'm sure this is just the very beginning. If it's already a coin that's potentially going to be listed by Coinbase, I think this is very telling where this is going. Coinbase has a huge amount of stake in Bitcoin, and they also capitalize off these high spreads and high fees. So what do you think they're going to be doing? Continuing doing that. It's to generate profit. Also because, and this isn't even trying to be biased, but they're one of the companies in tandem with Circle, Ripple, and all these groups that are planning and exploring to go public because it raises more money. It just makes them more money overall so they can become an even bigger giant in the space. All right here, I really love this quote. Ken Melendez, top channel supporter here, appreciate it. And he also has a great coil blog. And this literally took the words right from my mouth. If you look solely at pricing right now, crypto is at a standstill. If you look at partnerships, developments, and adoption in the space as a whole, crypto is moving forward at a solid pace. Perspective is everything. And I completely agree with that. And yeah, patience takes a long time. All right, so I wanted to share this. This is XRP Buddha. Thank you for sharing this right here. So notice this is 2 years ago, December 2018, and it is written by Brian Brooks. This is the gentleman now. He left Coinbase as the chief legal officer. He's again acting comptroller of the currency, essentially overseeing the entire United States banking system. Right here, why would they make Brian Brooks acting comptroller of the currency if he is of the opinion that the US dollar's role as the global reserve currency is nearing its end? Very, very interesting. And yes, we have the narrative, and in terms of infrastructure, yeah, China is ahead, but there's also different beliefs and different perspectives, and I'm not going to say one thing or the other. I'm going to keep an open mind and be ready to act accordingly for my personal investments. So I want to read 2 quotes here by Brian Brooks. This is on the New York Times. You can literally just type in this title and find it easily. So right here, but the United States should not fight against the forces of globalization that challenge the dollar's reserve currency status. Instead, it must seize the opportunity to incubate technologies that will enable further digital currencies, which could go on to power a transnational currency, perhaps the best next option for a future global reserve. Very interesting. And I mean, this sounds just like the type of talks that, guess who? Chris Larsen would always say, executive chairman of Ripple, talking about globalization, the final component of globalization, the Cambrian explosion of value, talking about the variety of protocols, ledgers, assets to make this happen. This whole internet of value, not internet of small value. This will be all the money. Now, I'm not saying XRP will transfer all the money. I'm saying that this could be a component, and even getting 0.1% of that would be massive. And this market cap today is nothing, absolutely nothing compared to what it could be. Right here. And I mean, you have to understand, this is not just value, guys. This is data. This is creating a new system for entrepreneurs, for builders and developers to build ecosystems upon, for data, for video storage, for any type of information that a database can hold in terms of, a ledger. This is way beyond what any of us can speculate. I saw Anders L. share a tweet, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was something along the lines of, people back in the day trying to speculate how big the internet would be. We had no idea. And that is what I'm saying. I think this could be even bigger. And I don't think that's far-fetched at all. All right, now I want to read right here, and then I'll finish up. New financial systems built on it could help connect people around the world, and he's referring to blockchain overall, DLT, around the world who lack access to traditional banking services. So focusing on inclusion in the unbanked and underbanked, just like the IMF is talking about. And these innovations could be leveraged by developers in much the same way as entrepreneurs built web services on the internet, from eBay to Facebook, with the same enormous impact on the American economy. And this will be not only an impact on the American economy, but of course, he has to speak from that term, but this is going to be global, and this is going to hopefully help everybody. If DLT does not offer the financial inclusion in a more distributed peer-to-peer world that I'm hoping to witness, I think it'll be a failure. Regardless, I know us in this ecosystem are trying to capitalize and make a smart play off of this by paying attention to this high level and moving accordingly. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts down below, how this is going to play out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.